Way back in the 70s, these two ladies made me laugh like nobody else. Aside from being very funny, I would describe them as plucky, silly, and loyal to each other to a fault. They truly were the best of friends. Yep, Laverne DeFazio and Shirley Feeney, as portrayed by Penny Marshall and Cindy Williams, were a true class act. And it was clear to me that I wasn't the only one who felt that way. If TV guide covers are any indicator of success, well, you can see that Laverne and Shirley got more than their fair share. And of course, the icing on the cake is this appearance in caricature on the cover of Dynamite magazine with King Kong. You know, the Mighty Kong may have been big, but I think these two ladies may have actually eclipsed him, at least when it comes to the world of zany television comedy. Unfortunately, when that type of fame hits, egos can sometimes become a bit inflated, even for those who are by nature fairly decent and humble human beings. And I can't help but think that this might have happened just a little bit on Laverne and Shirley. Evidence of that can be seen here in the top right section of this TV guide cover from 1982. Laverne and Shirley, how their feud affected the show. You know, I remember reading about how the two stars didn't always get along, but at the time I wouldn't have categorized it as a feud. But here it is, plain as day. At least the folks at TV Guide felt like the so-called feud was the real deal. More on that in just a moment. But because I never miss an opportunity to incorporate a picture of the Fonz into one of my slideshows, let's go with this one. I believe the episode was titled A Date with Fonzie, and it was the first time that Laverne and Shirley appeared on Happy Days. The characters really clicked with both TV viewers as well as the Happy Days creative team, one of which was Penny Marshall's brother Gary, and the decision was made to spin the show off. And before you could say Schlemil Schlemazel, Laverne and Shirley had their own show. By the second season, the show had become even more popular than Happy Days, and I was asking my mother to buy Pepsi so that I could mix it with milk. Mom didn't quite understand why I would want to try such an awful concoction, but because my mom was just that kind of lady. Before you could say Hasenpfeffer Incorporated, we were both trying the combination, and all I have to say is that it was really horrible. Penny Marshall has said that mixing Pepsi and milk was something that she remembered from her own childhood, but I really think that that was a memory that should have stayed suppressed. Laverne and Shirley was so popular that the show got its own record album, with Marshall and Williams actually singing. They did not, however, sing the show's theme song, Making Our Dreams Come True. This is the lady who brought that song to life. Her name is Cindy Greco, and sadly, Making Our Dreams Come True would be her only hit. Not sure why, but Cindy reminds me a bit of the Osmonds. Maybe it's that toothy smile of hers. After the fourth season, Laverne and Shirley started to struggle a bit in the ratings. Nothing horrible, but the network had moved the show to Thursdays so that it was opposite the Waltons on CBS and Buck Rogers on NBC, and as a result, some fans opted to watch one of those other two shows. When the network executives realized that they had made a big mistake, they moved the show back to Tuesday, but it was too late. The show's ratings, while respectable, did not return to the same stratospheric levels as before. So the show's creative team tinkered with the format a bit, moving the girls from Milwaukee to California and moving the timeline forward to the mid-60s. It was an interesting idea, but I didn't love it as much, and I don't think Marshall and Williams really did either. Which brings us full circle back to the feud. Here's what we know. Both ladies had strong personalities and ideas about what kind of direction the show should take. Couple that with the fact that the show's declining ratings after the time slot change had to be very stressful, and well, I think you've got the makings of a fairly decent-sized feud. Of course, TV Guide, always looking to increase circulation and sell more issues, called it an all-out war. Truthfully, I don't believe that it was, even though things did get to a point where it looked like Williams might not return at the beginning of the sixth season. Whether they were serious or not, the show's producers actually asked at least one actress to come in for a screen test with Penny to see how the two worked together. Fortunately for all, Williams did eventually decide to return. But even with Cindy returning, it really was a tough time for both ladies. They were friends, but they weren't getting along. And I think that makes things even more difficult than if they hadn't been friends in the first place. Williams eventually exited the show at the beginning of the 8th season. Ironically, her reason for leaving had little to do with her relationship with Penny, but rather how she felt she was being treated during the final months of her pregnancy. With Williams gone from the show and a sense that season 8 might be its last, the stressors that had led to the feud dissipated and eventually evaporated into nothingness. Both ladies have talked about the feud, although they don't like to call it that. Because, you see, when you are friends, you forget about the bad times and really try to focus on the good. Further proof that the feud died a quick death after Laverne and Shirley ended was that the two actresses willingly appeared together in a reunion special during the mid-90s. And just a few years ago, Cindy and Penny appeared together on a Nickelodeon kids show called Sam and Cat. And I'm quite confident that further reunions would have occurred if Penny hadn't passed away in late 2018. She sure didn't seem 75 to me. But then again, Penny had been in her 30s when she was making Laverne and Shirley. Of course, after that show ended, Marshall went on to direct some really wonderful films, including two of my favorites, Big and A League of Their Own. She was such a wonderful lady and a real unique actress who always made me smile when she was on the screen. I guess it's no surprise that she could make me smile off screen as well. Okay, that's all I have. Here's where I'll end this one. I love the smiles in this picture. You know, these two are a prime example of how a friendship can endure some really rough moments. Sure, it may take a little time to fully recover, but when it does, friendships like that usually last forever. Alright, please share your memories in the comments section of this video, and if you enjoyed my little trip down memory lane, please give it a thumbs up. That's how I'll know if I should make more videos like this. Also, I would be honored if you would consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. I talk about music, movies, and television, mostly from the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. You know, the good stuff. But most importantly, and as always, thank you so much for watching.